I think that writing is the single best skill that anyone can learn. If you're able to communicate through the written word, you'll be able to persuade, you'll be able to sell, and be able to build the life that you ultimately want. And so for me, I have been investing now the last 2 years into mastering the craft of copywriting and content writing to really nail down and figure out how to really convey emotion, feeling, and value from me to my reader. And in the process of that, I've been able to drive hundreds of thousands of impressions across different platforms for myself and for more than a dozen clients that I've worked with. And so if you're trying to build something, whether that's a following or a brand or a business, writing is going to be the number one skill that's going to help you get there. And so these are a couple of tips that I've picked up over 2 years of learning this that have made the biggest difference for me. And that I think if you implement them will change your writing routine and also your enjoyment of writing right away, right now. So starting with the first one, make sure you can put your writing on your album. So what I mean by this is there's this anecdote that I just love about Rick Rubin working with Kanye on his album. And at one point, while they're in the studio and they're picking the songs that are going to go on the album, Rick turns to Kanye and says, if any of these songs sound like they could be on anyone else's album, they shouldn't be on yours. What this means is that your writing should have a little bit of you in it, whether that's your style of speaking, unfiltered through AI, whether it's your stories or your unique perspective on things. It needs to be able to scream, this was written by you. So say what only you can say and own that fearlessly. The next one is something I call writing for monkey brain. What I mean by that is you have to keep in mind the state that people are in while they're on social media. People aren't coming on social media because they want to be intellectually stimulated or to buy something or to have their life changed. That's not the point. What a lot of people are doing is just scrolling to take their mind off of things or just to consume. A lot of it is very mindless. And so we don't want to assume that our audience is stupid because they're not. But we have to be very aware of what state they are consuming our content in. So we want to make sure that it's easy for people to consume, but still meaningful. So we're not dumbing it down too much, but we are making it so it's easy to consume. So that's a big one. Our content needs to be easy to read, understand, and to trust, right? That's kind of the goal. So make sure you're writing for monkey brain. Don't use all this jargon. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it as simple as you can. The next one that I think a lot of people need to be doing more in their writing is to relentlessly ask, so what? A lot of people share what I would call anecdotes. It's just a piece of information or a section of a story. It's not really impactful. There's no real reason to share it, but it's like I went to the bar and I fell over on the way to this cute girl who was sitting at the table waiting for me. Okay, great. So what? So what? Every line that you write needs to justify its existence, and every post that you write needs to answer the question in the reader's mind of, so what? Why should I care about this? When you're writing, it's very easy to fall into this thing of, well, this is my story. This is my perspective. This is what I want to put out there into the world. And that's great. But you need to make sure that your reader understands the value as well. So make sure that you answer the so what for your reader. The next thing that I think is so important is to write about what energizes you. Now, I didn't say write about what you're passionate about. I think it's a very easy trap to fall into to only talk about things that you want to talk about. That's not the point. The point is that you want to build a writing habit and a writing routine that you're going to stick with. And the only way you're going to do that is to build a writing routine and to write about things that actually energize you, that excite you, that you think are interesting, that you want to share with people. As if you can do that, then people will be able to feel that in the stuff that you write. Because all copy or post or content is a transferal of energy from me to you. And so if I sit down and I write something that I do not care about whatsoever, and I think is so boring, you're going to feel that in the writing that I create, and you're going to just tune out immediately, or at least I would if it was boring. So make sure that you write about things that genuinely energize and excite you. Obviously, the business has needs. You need to do some of the boring stuff too. Stay in the trenches if you have to, but try and find ways to make it exciting, whether that's where you're writing or what you're writing about or whatever it is. Make sure that it has that energy and that enthusiasm because it really translates into your writing. The next one is a tip that I give, especially if you're new to writing, and that is to use scaffolding. Scaffolding is using frameworks to guide your writing. Some of my favorite ones for this would be a before after bridge. So what that is show the state before, show the state after, and then what actually changed. How did you get across that situation? So it could be, I was broke, now I get 10 leads a week. Here's how I did it. Okay, before after bridge. Another is something popularized by the creators of South Park. It's the and but therefore framework. So what this looks like is I've been posting on LinkedIn for a while and I wasn't getting any traction, but I was posting consistently and doing everything that the guru said. Therefore, I know I need to change my strategy, and this is what I did. Something along those lines. And so what it basically is it's a setup, a juxtaposition of, okay, well, why wasn't that working? And then here's what I did instead. And the therefore. So the and but therefore is a really good one as well. I also love the AIDA framework, which is attention, interest, desire, action. So something that gets people's attention. Why should they care about this? What is in it for them? Essentially, what's the desire? And then what do they need to do with that? So you can research this for yourself. This is a topic for a completely different video, but these are proven frameworks and scaffolding for your posts that will immediately make them more compelling. So I would highly recommend that. The next one is a bit of a deeper level one, but if you can nail this will make a huge difference, is tap into their unsexy desires. So a lot of people want particular things for their life, and they might not tell you exactly what it is that they want. For example, if someone buys a really nice car, it's not per se because the car is nice. It might be because it elevates their status or gets them more girls or whatever it is, right? Whenever we're writing content, we don't just want to write to the surface level and what we think our audience wants. We want to sit down with our audience, really talk to them, get to know them, and see what is beneath that desire. What is it that they really want? Do they want to drive leads, or do they want to not be scared that they can't provide for their family this month? If we can tap into and articulate the real desires of our audience, that's when you're really able to build an incredibly powerful connection and establish an insane amount of trust. So make sure that you tap into their unsexy desires. The last one is kind of a joint one, where I'll say that storytelling is the vehicle and your audience is the hero. It's a mistake I think a lot of people make, and this is related in some way to the earlier one of asking the so what. A lot of people go on social media and they'll tell their stories and their experiences, but it's all about them. I went and did this thing and I'm so great and whatever it is. That is a mistake that you need to avoid in your content right now, because no one actually cares about you. I know. I'm really sorry if that hurt your feelings, but it's true. No one is scrolling because they care about you. What they care about is what you can do for them and what kind of relationship that you have with them. And so I like to think about this as kind of, you are the narrator of their story and they're the hero, right? So even if you're telling a story about how you went from broke to making 100K a month, a good story will position that as, I did this and you can too. Or I did this and here's how you can do that, right? You're providing hope. You're providing actionable advice or whatever it is. You're helping your audience see themselves in the stories that you're telling. And the storytelling is just the vehicle for how you can convey that point. So rather than sharing information, which is what everyone is doing with AI these days, share transformations, share your stories, share your lowlights, but not in a way that's self-indulgent. Share in a way that's actually compelling for people because they can see themselves. The last tip that I'll give, and this might be the most important, is to have fun with it. There are way too many people that take content way too seriously, and it shows. It's incredibly stale, it's incredibly boring, and honestly, a big part of winning the content game is just to stick with it. And you're not going to stick with it if you're not having fun. And so have fun with it and just treat it like an experiment. So many people that I talk to are so afraid of posting online because they're afraid of judgment or they're afraid of their post flopping or whatever it is. Those are completely understandable feelings. But I find that if I treat my post like an experiment, like a mini hypothesis, like a science experiment, and say, hey, I'm going to put this out there. Let's see how it does. Let's see if anyone even resonates with it. If it's a little cringe, that's okay. Now I've learned something. If it gets no engagement, great. No one saw it, doesn't matter. All of this is a process of learning. And the only way that you can do that is actually putting yourself out there. So have fun with it. Treat your content like an experiment. Use some of these tips, hang them up on your wall and apply them today. And I guarantee you that it will not only make your content better, but it'll also make the experience of it more enjoyable. And that is something your audience can feel too. So writing has changed my life. I know it can change yours too, whatever it is that you're looking for, whether that's more personal clarity, a bigger personal brand, a bigger bank account. Writing is the key. So I hope that you'll apply these principles. They're time tested, they're proven. I know that they work, and I know that they can work for you too.